around the... Would we see a Red Bull Junior take pole? Nicholas Solov, the only driver this season who is currently able to beat the record holder, Rafa Kamara for Trident. Drivers pushing the limits around this Red Bull Ring circuit where gravel traps can catch the drivers out and the quick corners, but it would be the Red Bull Junior Nicholas Solov to take a second Aramco pole position.
Welcome to the F3 sprint race here in Austria. We are all set to go for what is going to be an absolutely fantastic sprint race of the weekend. We are almost set to go. And I must apologise, we'll try and bring in as much track noise as possible, but it seems that whether it be Sky Sports F1 or Formula 1 TV themselves, for some reason the commentary is only coming out one side of the speaker. So a bit of a shocking poor performance from their commentary box, really. But we will keep going and hope it gets fixed. Alongside me in the commentary box is Omi and Tom Gans as well. Omi, going to be an interesting race, but James Wharton on pole position as well as we get ready for the lights out in a few moments' time.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Sandro Giusti starting in second place. The Williams Jr., who is going to be looking to try and move forward after he started on pole in Monaco. Lost the lead there. Let's see what he can do from second place. And around Austria, Formula 3 racing can be quite good. And you've also, as JB mentioned, got Tom Kent in the commentary box as well. And Tom, we had an absolutely extraordinary Formula 3 race here last year. And we always do every year. We come here and we're looking forward to more of the same with a new generation of car.
The Red Bull Ring never disappoints when Formula 3 is in town, as we've got 30 Formula 3 cars on the grid, raring to go for this first of two races that they'll be doing this weekend. There we see Rafa Kamara on the grid, the championship leader, 26 points ahead in the lead, or may have been 24 now, because Nicholas Solov got the points for pole position. But he needs a strong race, really, just to give himself a little bit of comfort going into the feature race tomorrow. Ugo Ogachukwu, who has struggled so far this season, having a better qualifying than he has done throughout most of this season, in 5th place. Let's see what he can do from here as we run down on today's grid.
Yeah, absolutely. Ugo Ogachukwu one to watch. He had a spin at the end of his flying lap at the final corner. He had a chance to go for it, but it was all taken away from him. So he starts in 5th today, but let's find out where the rest of them do. On debut, Nikita Johnson goes from 30th, and it's Gerard G in 29th alongside him as well. Marin Angeli and James Headley, the AIXs, share the row in 28th and 27th position. And then we get Ivan Dominguez in 26th. He, of course, won our last sprint contest in Formula 3. Zagazdeta will go from 25th place on the grid. Jesse Carrasqueda only in his second weekend of the category. Roman Belinsky found himself with a poor qualifying in 23rd by his standards. Christian Ho in 22nd. Lawrence Van Hoopen still not being able to find everything that he wanted in the ART. Louis Sharp and Tuka Tappinen, same applies to them. They would have wanted to be higher today, but they are going from 20th and 19th. Teofil Nall is in 18th, and then it's Tim Traminitz. A big disappointment when it came to qualifying for the Red Bull Junior, considering he contended at the front so much in that session. And then it's Santiago Ramos, one of our winners from earlier on in the season. He's alongside Martini Estenstrom. Mary Boyer will go from 14th, part of the Aston Martin Academy now, of course, and he's alongside Noah Leon in for Prema. Nicholas Solov, our pole sitter for tomorrow, is reversed down to 12th today. Brilliant job by Brad Benavides. Let's see what he can do from 11th though. Noah Stromstead is in 10th. Bruno Del Pino starts in 9th position, does the Spanish driver. And then we've got Sanapol Interpruvzak, who goes from 8th. Callum Woisen is in 7th place for Rodin Motorsport. And then we get Rafa Kamara as he looks to finally have a sprint race that he can remember this season. Ugo Ogachukwu goes from P5. Brando Badoa is in 4th. And then it's Charlie Wurz, who goes from P3. And our front row is shared by Sandro Giusti and James Wharton in the ART. Let's see whether he's going to be able to take the race victory. Of course, this is the shorter of the two races that we run by a couple of laps, and also we dish out sprint race points compared to Grand Prix points. So it's a bit of a different race, but it does mean that the drivers still absolutely go on the attack and they still give it their all, and sprint racing can sometimes always be some of the best that we get. We're underway then for the formation lap, and Wharton is going to be now thinking and having a huge goal ahead of him now, as we've got a staller on the grid. That's Bruno Del Pino, so he's not got anywhere.
No, and that's him stalled on the grid, which means he'll have to start from the pit lane unless he can get going again from there. That's a terrible shame. The man started 9th on the grid, the Spaniard, after a brilliant qualifying. He qualified 4th, hence why he's starting 9th. But yeah, he will be pushed to the podium. Although actually, he gets going. So he gets going, and because he got going before the last car went past him, he will be able to reclaim his 9th position on the grid. A lucky, lucky man indeed.
Yep, lucky man, considering we have James Wharton slowing the whole field up quite a lot. It should be quite easy to get himself back to the correct grid spot as well. So that is great. We thought it all faded away for Bruno Delpino, but he was able to get it back, Joshua Birch, as we now hear from our top 3.
I mean, it's a track where it's easy to overtake, but you have to play the DRS game as well, and there is degradation with these soft tires. So it'll be a race about managing everything around you, and in the end, I think the smartest driver will probably come out on top with playing these DRS games.
Yeah, we'll be starting from P2 tomorrow, so yeah, expect a good start. Trying to go for P1 soon and try to stay P1. I mean, it's easy to say like this, but harder on the track. Yeah, there will be as well with choice with tire of what someone can put new or not. So that will be in a discussion after with the team.
Yeah, for me, starting from pole, you can show people in this paddock, but in the paddock beside us in Formula 1, what you can do in front, what you can do in the lead is a very different story to fighting in P12, where I have been for the rest of the season. So going at the front, being on the front row for the first time in Formula 3 is going to be something special, and yeah, I just can't wait to get started tomorrow and hopefully have a good start, as you said, and hopefully lead every race, every lap.
We'll do our best to bring you track noise throughout the race. Hopefully, however adjusted it means that we will hear the noise more than the commentators behind. It's not our problem, it's not our fault. We'll try our best. But sometimes these situations do come to challenge us. Kamara leads though on 105 points to Solov on 79. Solov has the pole for tomorrow, Omi, and that is going to be key because he needs to start clawing back those points. Kamara's been running away with the F3 Championship so far.
He has, but this is the chance as we enter the second half of the season for Solov to try and come up with something. Right, let's take a look at a replay. Bruno Delpino making his way back up to through the field as he was overtaking the cars, and it was very nearly contact as everyone's weaving, of course.
I mean, that's Padoa again who's causing more issues, but Tom, I think that was just, it was him. Bruno Delpino could just do what he likes. He had to get back to his good position. The last car had not passed him.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, you know, Brando Padoa just needed to be on his toes. I don't know whether his race engineer told him that Bruno Delpino needed to be coming back through and he needed to be on his guard, and he just didn't notice that Delpino was behind him. So very luckily they didn't cause a collision there, otherwise that would have been very, very disastrous. But we're just waiting for the last set of cars to head to the grid now, and we can get going for the first bit of racing here at the Red Bull Ring this weekend.
F3 and F2 have their sprint races today. Practice 3 and qualifying for Formula 1 as well. We'll also have the Porsche Carrera Cup the Porsche Super Cup qualifying session coming your way later on tonight. Medical car at the back, green flag is ready. Rebecca Lee will press the button, and it's all eyes to the 5 red lights. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and in the Spielberg Mountains we're underway. It's a good start from our pole sitter, James Wharton. He'll easily come alongside Gusti down towards turn 1. Charlie Vert's in a bit of a bother though. He's having to go to the extreme inside line, and coming round the outside comes Ugo, but he's backed out a bit, so here comes Padoa back into it. Ugo Gachimu is up into about 3rd position. Padoa's backed off, and look now, Gusti's got a big run up towards turn 3 in Remus. Can he go for an inside line? Ugo Gachimu trying to look around the outside line of Charlie Verts into the braking zone. This is where they all concertina off goes Ugachiru. Padoa will come back along, have to avoid him, but now down to Socha's Gold. I mean, it's a perfect start. They've all made it through cleanly. That's unusual for F3 in Austria.
Yep, Traminator's on the grass behind as we see GSD. Look left, look right, can't find a way through. And around the outside goes Ugo Gachuku, but Tim Traminich forced on the grass further back as he was battling with Stenchorn. But they've all made their way through, and GSD cannot fight ahead and has to still maintain 2nd place.
Perfect start though, Tom, as well, as now we're seeing them all jostle for position. The F3 cars are small enough that we can go 3-1, and we're seeing that further back as well.
Yep, and it was a good getaway from Watson, but I've just seen him move across more than once on the straights when he was defending from Giuristi. Bedora got a really tardy start though off the line, and now we're looking at the Road and Motorsport car. That has to be, who's that? That's Callum Voisin, who, no, sorry, that's not Voisin, that has to be,
No,
lost count of where we are.
I think it's kind of Voisin.
It is
Yeah,
Voisin.
he's moved up big time. So
Yeah, well, Voice is in P7. It was just waiting for the timing tower to update, so that's sorted out. But what a start from Watson. It's staying in the lead for the time being, but GST just keeping up and remaining within DRS range. The DRS is now enabled after one lap, so they all should start using the DRS right now, providing they're within 1 second of the car in front. One driver's had a really torrid start is Noel Leon, down in 23rd position.
that's a bit of a mess down there. Oh, contact! There's someone lost a front wing. 2 cars off. And one of the AAX is also without a front wing on the run down towards turn number 4. So that's Tuukka Tappinen who's got a problem at the top of the hill, turn 3 as well. And trying to have a look and see who else is down and involved in the order. He's fallen back down. I think Gerard Z's been in there, but Tappen's definitely dropped back. Let's take a look at the replay, Amy, because it all happened further back with the DRS continuing up to turn 3.
Yep, it was a big crunch point as well, down into the braking zone as they all got that one slowed down. And yeah, we're going to have the Dams Lucas all down the inside. Tuukka Tappanen's going to get involved as he finds himself then coming straight to a halt. So yeah, that's exactly what happened down there. Carrasquedo dropped down to 29th. He had to take avoiding action as you got the safety car out.
So lap 2 of 21, the safety car will come out. That'll neutralise the field. It's a 40-minute race. Got 36 minutes to go so far. And now we will halt behind the pace car and get going once again. It's the Mercedes-AMG safety car here, this one, but that's because Tuukka Tappinen, the Ferrari Driver Academy, is stopped at the top of the hill at Remus. Tom, if you could just message... I sent you a DM, by the way, if you can just check your messages coming through. As into the pit lane now does come James Headley, and Louis Sharp apparently is also running slowly or stopped on the circuit only. So 3 cars involved in that little contact.
Yeah, absolutely. So a few cars involved, but it is Formula 3 Austria. 30 cars all attacking into one corner. But to be fair, this looks easy compared to what I had last week, where Italian F4 had 40 cars at Monza, heading down into turn 1 as there's Louis Sharp, who has stopped as well. But yeah, quite a lot of carnage expected, and quite a lot of carnage taking place out there on the circuit. Not at the front of the field. Wharton doing exactly what he needs to, as we do see Ho returned back to the pit lane. I mentioned that we had a Dams Lucas also. He's the car who was diving to the inside 100% there, and I think, yeah, that makes sense. So he was the car who sent it like a madman, basically, diving down the inside at turn 3.
So 4 cars interrupted in that. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 cars. That is Tuukka Tappinen, James Headley, Louis Sharp and Christian Ho, who have all been involved in that contact so far. Whilst under the pace car, let's head down to the World Free. Oh, Omi, talk us to the start.
Yeah, let's go back to the race start then and review what happened. Ugo Gachuku gets away well. Brandon Bedora chops across, so they're side by side. Ugo Gachuku finds the momentum, sends it around the outside of Austrian's Charlie Wurz as well, the home favourite, as they all made their way through turn number 1. As we take a look, some drivers having to go to the runoff area. We arrived into the braking zone. A couple of lockups on the brakes. That was into Pruvzak, who went into the back as well. So he was super late on the brakes and made a little bit of contact down there into the braking zone. As we watch them all now make their way through on this replay, and we had a few AIX cars running off wide, of course. At the back, Carrasquedo and Headley were battling their way through. This is what I mentioned with Tim Trammon. He's going to get forced off the road by Stenchel a little bit on the grass, which is what I identified earlier on. So he has to back out of it at this stage. He still goes for the move around the outside, very nearly loses it, and does lose it off the road, and he has to go through the runoff.
Constantino effect then approaches up at turn 3. This is Solov's start. Started 12th, up into 8th position. Superb getaway. Really was launching up towards turn number 1 with the... I'm going to turn that off because they're too loud while on the replays. But yeah, sort of really to get a great getaway. And then he just sort of looked into everybody else running off the circuit around him.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. And then we take a look at lap number 2. So Ho sends it down the inside. That is far too late arriving into the corner and slamming into the side.
I've been hit.
There's Sharp's radio. Says, I've been hit, and broken rear suspension puts him out. My goodness me, my door just slammed. I know you heard that as well because you looked. Yeah, I'm going to open it.
Yep. that JB's door completely slamming as Christian Ho watches on, the Singaporean driver, with not the start to his sprint race that he would have wanted. Right, okay. So Solov's gained 4 positions. Brad Benavides has gained 2. Stenchon's gained 3 as well. Boyer's gained 1. The safety car's ending at the end of this lap. But it's quite surprising to see that most of the field maintaining positions at the front of the field. Not usually something that we see. Is that with the graphic we're about to get back to the green flags, with Wharton bringing us to the end of this final sector, and we will go on to lap number 5 and the race will resume once more.
Let's also not forget that there is a safety car mandated restart zone here this weekend, so there are slight differences as to when they can hit that green flag. And look at how much Wharton is backing them up coming to the Woods curve. That is not really smart at all. Safety car's officially in, green flags will be out. Wharton's hit the pedal as well, but he's going to allow Gusti and Wirtz to come with him. Badoa and Ugachiwu, the 2 teammates now. Badoa's back ahead of Ugo Ugachiwu, so that's happened on the way up towards turn 3 on the safety car beforehand. We're racing, though, again on lap 5 of 21. And, okay, Wharton's actually controlled that restart perfectly. As to the inside line, going to see Solov trying to make a move on Callum Voslin into turn 1. Does so beautifully, but Callum got the better exit. He's going to try and get the switch back on the inside line for turn 3. And I think he'll have the pace as well, Omi, because it's an inside run. If he can just keep it wheel to wheel, which he has done, that's a superb comeback from Callum Voslin. Didn't panic at all. Meantime, further behind, Bruno Del Pino and Brian Benavides having a bit of a problem, but still, Solov has kept the position against Kamara.
Yeah, very well done there from Solov. Able to get past. Woisen tried to fight back, could not do it as we arrive down into the braking zone as Bruno Del Pino is having a look as he tries to get past. Brad Benavides, who starts on the front row. Tomorrow is right now running in 9th place at the moment, but it looks to be clean and that's exactly what we wanted.
So still in a battle, Tom, as they fly back through, as we now take a look to Martin Estancho as well, who's running in 14th position, ironically enough. So he's running in 12th position for number 14. I was about to say that someone but he's moved up 2 places on that restart.
Yeah, so a good restart from Wharton at the head of the field. He needed that, and he's managed to pull away from GSD, but he's not quite out of DRS territory just yet. Charlie Wirtz, who's having the best race of his season so far on home turf as well, the man who's going for his first podium in the series, and now they will head over the line and DRS is being enabled once more. So let's see if we can see some drivers making some moves on this side. There are 3 DRS zones on the circuit. Brando Badoa getting on the curbs.
Yeah, and that's going to leave him vulnerable to Ugo Ugachiwu, who's going to pull to the outside with the DRS. He gets it through now, having to defend from Rafael Kamara, who stails through on the outside line up into Remus. And, I thought Kamara was going to have a go at Ugo. But Badoa comes in all too late, and that was the championship leader, Kamara, seeing everything unfold and avoiding action. He knew that Badoa would come in completely out of sync. He's now going to hold the outside. Badoa needs to be careful here. He's already got a few more penalty points on his licence. He can't afford to get too many. As Solov now having to defend from Callum Voslin, who's coming back through, and Brad Benavides looking around the outside line to turn 3. Oh, there he goes on the inside. That's a bit tight.
Yeah, very nearly 3 wide. Brad Benavides is having a look, isn't he?
I thought he was going to have a go there, but still, Solov holds the position. Voslin's trying to go around the outside, punches it through. Solov's taking the position against Callum Voslin. Benavides can't get back through. Fabulous couple of corners, Omi.
Yeah, that was extraordinary. They were all going for it, left, right and centre. Now we finally get a single file at the front of the field at least. Further back, Stromsted's lost the place. Up goes Tim Traminitz. He's promoted himself up. Wharton's trying to pull away the best he can, but it's the mid-pack that are delivering all of the action at this stage. But now with the DRS and GSD closing in, there will definitely be a chance at the front of the field.
Benavides trying to launch up the inside of Callum Voslin. Voslin doesn't know he's there. There's very nearly contact. They just realised at the last moment, and now that's going to allow Bruno Del Pino to get the DRS and maybe bring in Tanasipol into Pruvazak as well as they come up in towards turn number 4. Voslin is side by side, and he's almost getting forced off the circuit into the braking zone. Voslin's going to come on the outside, and there's a little bit of contact. There is big contact there, and that is Bruno Del Pino hitting the side of Brad Benavides, and Del Pino's front wing has exploded in the top of Remus. Meantime, in the front, we've got a battle for the leaders. Guisti trying to get through on Wharton, and Wharton's still holding off. Will we need at least a virtual safety car to clean that debris up? Look at the mess in the middle sector, Tom. This is all getting a bit nuts now. We'll have a big one here.
this will have to be a virtual safety car at the very minimum because there's so much debris over at turn 3, and Delpino he'll be needing a new front wing. He'll be heading back to the pits. And Benavides, he's lucky actually survived it, but he's losing places as we see as he goes off the circuit.
That's dangerous because he's got no control when he rejoins, and he's alongside Bruno Delpino as he comes back through. Cars left, right and centre trying to dive through. That's the inside line, so that is going to be that's Roman Belinsky as well, trying to dive through on the inside line of Santiago Ramos. Still not doing too much. Walton is by 0.3 of a second as they come over the line. Into the pit lane comes Brad Benavides and Bruno Delpino. And now a flat spot front tire is punctured presumably as well for Brad Benavides. They're into the pits. Front right puncher, yeah, he was.
Yep. We need to look to the front though, surely, because GSD is going to have a chance, and he is looking left and right at the moment as Delpino gets his front wing changed. So yeah, it was shattered absolutely left, right and centre at the moment. But this is the chance for GSD down towards turn 4.
GSD's going to pull to the outside line. Wharton has the inside, but the outside is so strong here. And Soch just gone. Put your foot down mid-corner. It gets you the better exit. Hasn't worked out, but Charlie Wirtz has found something as he comes up towards Pirelli at turn 6. Can he get the slipstream? No. I tell you what, this is, a 7-car fight? Round the outside, Ugo Gachiwu. He's on the gravel. Car control of a brilliance as well. This is why we were all saying he could be a champion in the future. Winner of Macau last year. He's got such great car control, even when he's off the track. Well, this
drive around the outside, kind of like what we saw in 2023 as well for Montoya and Iwasa, respectively in F3 and F2. Even Dominguez is in the pit.
Oh.
That doesn't look like a healthy tire, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, that is not going to be returning to the race as well. I'm surprised they get it off. Box to retire the car. Brad Benavides is going to be out of the race then as they come through. Gusti's going to have a little run on Wharton, then down in towards turn 3 at Remus. A little bit of a slipstream. There's the MotoGP chicane that they added in for the bikes. Don't use it in single-seaters. Up we go again on the inside line. I love this camera angle with the crane. Some great shots down the ears as we now see Brandon Bedoya trying to have a go at his teammate. He's going to be very careful there. If Bedoya takes out his teammate, he may as well kiss goodbye to the Prema team. They would sack him in an instant. They're not exactly... they've already cleared him once this year as well as they come through. And now, unfortunately, that's Kamar getting past on the inside line. Solo's coming through to get through for 6th position as well. But to be fair, Kamar is blocking him as much as he can.
Yeah. Absolutely. Solo is going to drive all the way around the outside though, and he could get by momentarily touches the gravel, and he does.
Okay, that was impressive. That was seriously impressive from Solov. That was exactly what Ugo Gachiwu tried to do the last lap and failed, but now Tom Kamara's right on the back here. He's right with his championship contender Solov. Solov's gaining points at this time in the championship as well, and Kamara needed to sort of stop him in the sprint before he's got pole tomorrow for the feature race.
Yeah, and you can just see the field coming down the pit straight. They're now on lap 10 as Wharton still continues to lead, but there's still debris over at turn 3 as Benavides in the pits again, and he's out this time is the American. It's a shame for him. Delpino's still going in 25th place. He is on the lead lap, is the Spaniard, but he's going to have to hope for a safety car to get back into this and salvage anything. And now we've seen the McLaren Junior as Bedoya goes for it on Ugo Chukwu into turn 3. Still no way through just yet, and Kamara looking to the outside of Solov. Will he keep that place because he was off the track when he made that move?
He's trying to, they're side by side at the moment. The two championship protagonists got Stenshall in there. Omi, which one is it? I can't remember. Stenshall, thank you. Couldn't remember, so I thought, stop, and off goes Kamara. Solov forces him wide. The two championship protagonists running each other absolutely ragged. Well, unfortunately, that was always going to happen when they try and go side by side. But now that's put Sullivan into Privazak 6th and 7th, and Prema 4-5 with Ugachiwu and Bedoya. And Bedoya was trying to have a look on the inside of Ugachiwu, as Tom said, and I was shaking my head at the time because I was like, that's not the position to go for. Here it is again, though. I mean, and this is going to be where Kamar's going to try and think on the outside, but he was sort of forced into it. He had nowhere to go.
Yep, absolutely. He gets Solov up the inside line as well. Kamara just is up there, and he finds himself off the road. So that's disappointment for him, and he's going to have to gain so many more positions. But yeah, Solov sends a lunge down the inside, and Kamara out wide he goes, momentarily into the gravel with 2 of his tyres, and then rejoins with absolutely no momentum as we now look back to live pictures and back to the battle at the front and everywhere else in the field.
This is quite exciting actually for the Formula 3. It's very unusual for it to be this good as we come up in towards the braking zone. At Austria, we're usually either rained and red flagged, aren't we, on a Saturday morning? And this is giving us a nice wake-up call. Although the heat could die down a bit. I've put this shirt on, thinking, and I'm wearing shorts as well. And I thought, oh, I'll be nice and cool in this commentary box. No, I might have to change my shirt already. So it's going to be a very hot day as we see a bit of a move down into the back. Nothing going on there as well. That's one of the Tridents. It's not Kamara. I think it was Kamara. Yeah, try to get past on Stenshaw as well coming through. Yeah, it's difficult because there's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and then Stenshaw, but also there's been a Steinshaw in motorcycle racing as well. So it's quite hard when you're trying to throw the words out exactly who's who. Lap 11 of 21 though. Ugachuru is just had a new personal best lap time. So is Badoa, Solov and Kamara and Van Hopen as well. So tyres aren't going to be a factor for going off in this stage of the race. They've had laps behind the safety car. If anything, they're getting into the sweet spot. But can James Wharton really keep control at the front of the field for this long? Saying that though, Tom, 19 cars inside DRS zones.
Yeah. There is GCC thinking about a move on Wharton this time around. Now, they seem to be rather conservative at this stage, really. They're not like making any genuine overtakes because they don't want to lose ground to the car ahead and having to use up tyres to make up the ground. As GSD is now on the tail of Wharton again as they head towards turn number 4. He's going to the inside this time! And Wharton just about shuts the door on entry to the Schlossgold. And I have to say, that was probably the closest GSD's come to passing Wharton for the lead. But it really is hotting up now as we reach the second half of the race.
I think, Omi, as well, that was the old... He tried to set up a dummy, but it was perfect in defending from James Wharton. I was quite impressed with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was perfect, selling the dummy from GSD and great defense from Wharton. But if it gets closer than that, then we could be heading to contact territory. So they've both got to be careful, because, you know, Wharton's desperate to defend it. GSD just wants to try and fake it everywhere to try and make this move. Try and pull off one of the most greatest moves. So yeah, he does need to... So they just have to be careful that they are judging it to perfection. No point taking a major risk at this stage where it could lead to contact. That's what those two have to make sure, that they don't end up taking each other out like we saw in the F3 sprint in Spain last time out, where the leaders took themselves out of the front in the opening few corners off that race as well. As here we go then, here's going to be the chance for GSD to try and make the move.
Goes on the inside line at turn number 3, gets an okay. What's Badoa doing? Oh, he takes out Vance! Badoa, you absolute moron! Hothead again from Brandon Badoa, and there's debris getting flown up everywhere on the run down towards Socha's goal. And now, Giusy trying to have a look on the inside of James Wharton. Hasn't worked out the way he was thinking. He's backed out of that one. But what was Badoa thinking? So stupid in that position. I'm sorry, but why is Badoa still in a Formula 3 car? Week after week, he's getting... Well, to be fair, Lecorte, he makes Lecorte look competitive. That's how bad Badoa is at the moment. That was so stupid. What do you make of it, Tom?
Well, we're going to see a replay of it as Badoa goes to turn 3. Yeah, he was just too far back. That was really clumsy from Badoa, and I expect a hefty penalty coming in the way, because that really could have caused problems for those behind, and Wirtz did nothing wrong but to take he took the line as he was entitled to do, and Badoa, well, that's about as clumsy as you're going to get in this series. And
Wirtz is out of the race. Sorry to cut across you there, Tom, but safety car's out.
Yeah, that's a terrible shame, because Wirtz was having the best race of his season, and Badoa has just gone and ruined it.
Oh, this is a late call from the stewards. Put the safety car out. We're at turn 3 now, and the safety car gets called right that moment because the car's still there. That was very late from race control there. But Omi, out goes Charlie Wirtz, and surely Badoa's in the pit lane. Does he deserve a race ban? He's clearly not educated enough. I know his father was someone similar.
He's under the car. He's under the car.
Yeah, it's called not a competitive right foot. Omi, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, we looked at his CV yesterday. It would suggest that okay, can be. And with what I saw last year in Freca, I would say, yeah, he should be here, but when he is here, he's not delivering. And my word, that was absolutely ridiculous. And poor Charlie Wurst, having the best race of the season, as Tom mentioned, and it's his home race as well. Yeah. Today's the chance. He starts in third. It's his home race. The Austrian driver looking to try get a home win, and it just gets spoiled like that. And remember, he's at this phase. Words is at this phase where he's sitting back, letting Giusti, letting Wharton just battle it out. He's making sure that he's calm, collected, and wait to pick up the pieces later on. And in the end, he just gets hit due to no fault of his own from behind.
This is, look, from Badoa, it's such a late move. That would never have worked. He's made the move inside the braking zone. So, that is such a daft manoeuvre. And, oh, I tell you what, these put gravel all over the circuit as well, actually, so that's not the greatest. That's not, by the way, they framed that there as Charlie Verge is pointing, saying, you! No, he was pointing to the marshal to say, am I right over there? Cool. Because he has to have permission to cross the circuit, and he did get permission. So I can see a digger at the top of the screen there. It's not a digger, is it? It's a crane. I don't know why everyone always calls them a digger. Because sometimes there are. If a car's buried in the gravel trap, they have to dig their way out a little bit. That's happened a couple of times. In fact, most famously at Thruxton in 2012, in the British Touring Car Championship, it rained so heavily that we had to red flag, I think, race 2, because it could have been race 1, I can't quite remember this time, but one of the races, a car span off and literally just got beached in the grass, literally as big as that grass is there, if you're watching on with us, at the side of an Armco barrier, it just got beached because it just sank. So they brought a tractor onto the circuit, and the tractor got stuck. So they had to red flag the race because they had to bring out a tractor to rescue the tractor to rescue the car. It was hilarious, and they had to red flag the race because it got stuck. So, yeah, at that point, Thruxton invested a bit more in drainage after that 2012 race. But we've had a couple of wet ones there as well over the years. So, lap 15 of 21. There is safety car driver Bert Mylander, who has competed in so many Formula 1 races now, hasn't he? It's unbelievable how many he's done. Did go on a run though, didn't we, with no safety car?
Yeah, we did.
When was the last time the safety car was deployed? We had, oh, Canada. Never mind. Essential.
Watson and Justy with my farm, I think. So be ready to jump because everything will happen in the last 5 laps.
Well, yeah.
And that's exactly what Charlie Wurz was doing.
Yeah.
And he just gets taken out.
Good would be on for a victory here.
Yeah, I mean, he's in third, but I think Solo's going to be attacking. Everyone's going to be really charging, as we see coming into the pit lane, Noah Stromstead.
Broken front wing. Where's he got that from? He wasn't caught up in that accident. So, yeah. Well, perfect time to replace the wing on the safety car. And he was outside the points anyway in 16th place. He won't drop that many places down. He's gone through the grass, it looks like. So, that's an unusual one under the safety car. My money is on Solo to do the double here, you know, this weekend. I think he's looking very strong to win both sprint and feature. And here is Solo now. This is up to turn 4, so he's looking ahead, and he's looked into third position. 3 cars go, well, fourth effective, isn't it? But Ugo had to go off the circuit, and he says, thank you very much. I think, would that be, that's definitely going to be a grid penalty for tomorrow, isn't it, for Badoa?
Yeah, but definitely have to assume.
I mean, he'll get the time penalty at the very, very minimum because he's still in the race, is Badoa.
24.
Yeah, and there'll be penalty points.
Just the amount of people we've lost in this race alone. Wirtz, Benedives, Dominguez as well. Ho, Sharp, Tappanen. Tappanen was out of the race. That was a surprise. Duke Tappanen, we were all tipping to be the championship contender this year. Hasn't exactly had the greatest launch into Formula 3 that we were expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of cars out. Welcome back to Formula 3, JB. I know you've had some time away.
What was the last one I covered? I think it's been one off, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, even in the Spain feature, is Bado actually made contact as well. So it's like he's constantly involved in contact. So he's had too many of those as well. But yeah, I think it's been one off for you.
It's the way the season's going, unfortunately, with touring cars taking precedence and other series. Hopefully we're getting into... Well, touring cars are on a break now, so all is good for the British Grand Prix weekend. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. I'm on everything bar Formula 4, but I might go to the pit lane for that. I don't know. I'll see how I can do it. Ideally, I'd like... Go on.
Not might. You will go to the pit lane.
I will. I will go to the pit lane. Right,
yes.
Okay. We've got an outside studio set up, by the way, ready for this one. So we're going to be in for a very interesting... Sullivan Kamara has been noted for causing a collision. So that's a such as gold. So keep an eye on that one. But yeah, we've got a big plan for the British Grand Prix weekend as well. So all will be revealed in a press release on the socials. It's going to be really fun, actually. I can't wait to see it. Safety car is ending. So we're in this lap. We will go back to green flag running, this time by 36, 17, 18, 24 laps. Yeah. Might just make it, but I hope Megan remembers how to stop and start the stream. Because I'm not... well, she should. But she's doing the MotoGP. As soon as this is over, I think I take over for qualifying 2 of the MotoGP. So James Morton, for the second time today, will back up the pack. I can still hear the drone noise. Don't know what's going on with F1's audio this weekend for the support series. I wonder if F1 TV is the same as well. We'll have to double check. Green flag has been given, so Wharton will hit the pedal. There he goes. That's too early, in my opinion, because you're going to get the run through the last 2 corners. Should have done it the last one, because now look, actually Ugachuo could have a good run here, and Augusti as well coming through. First corner, and Solov's ready to go, Omi, as we go back to green flag running. Solov's right in the back, and he's only got a couple laps to make these charge up. We're racing again.
Yeah, by Formula 3 standards, it has actually worked out, to be fair, for Wharton. He's got a decent advantage, but GSD is going to be looking in his mirrors. Talking about looking in his mirrors, Ugo Gachuka has Solov to the inside.
Oh, he goes off the circuit. Solov has to give him room, and now Gachuka is forcing Solov onto the grass. That's not allowed, Ugo. You've got to give him room. You can't force him off, but here comes Tenasipol into Pruvazak. He's being ganged up on here by the 2. Into the braking zone. Into Pruvazak's going to go around the outside. Now he's past Solov, and now he's gone wide. Solov has to lift off, and what was Ugachuwu doing? As Solov now gets whacked slightly into Pruvazak, but that was I don't agree with that from Ugo. That was aggressive defending. That could almost lead him a penalty, forcing 2 drivers off the track to defend 3rd position. That's not on. Yeah,
his tyres are dead as well. I think Ugo Gachuka's tyres are dead, and he's completely trying to defend for his life. As Kamara right now is side by side as he tries to also defend from Boya.
Steps on the inside line, so through goes Kamara. No further action for Sullivan Kamara for that little run off the circuit as Kamara goes right round the outside of the Volts curve. Oh, that was spectacular! Getting through on Stenshire, that was brilliant for Kamara. He knows no fear, the man who's leading this Formula 3 championship. Meantime, the leaders have got 2 seconds to Ugo Gachuyu. Ugo Gachuyu, you're right, his tyres are dead, but absolutely Solov needs to get through quickly, because this is getting ridiculous now. They've already added DRS zone. That's it. All Solov can do now is 3rd place, unless the leaders take each other out. What have you made of that restart, Tom?
It was relatively sweet so far from Wharton ahead of Giusti, like he has done time and time again. But yeah, well, there was a little bit too much from Gachuka, both with Solov and with Infa Puvasek over at turn 3. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see the stewards get involved in that, because that was a little bit too much from the American. And now he's going to have to go defensive with Solov very, very soon again. And we see the field heading through. There is the 23 of Callum Voisin having to defend from Tim Chudnitz, who has not had the best of races so far in this, but at least he's still on course for a championship point. And we'll look to see how... There is Voisin. Oh, that's one of the promos. That's Mary Boyer defending.
I think Boyer's got a damaged front wing. It just looks like on the left side, it's down a bit. Let's take a look. Look at the yeah, he's got a broken front wing. Yeah. So where on earth has he picked that up from on the chaos of the restart? Ugachuwu, I think, is going to hold on for 3rd position. I don't think Solov's going to have the advantage. DRS is enabled next time by. Well, it was this time by, and he hasn't made the move. Now it's been enabled. Right, okay, so it's only just flashed up on the screens. As on the inside line, Tim Tremlett's trying to pass Callum Vosin into the Jochen curve through Rebel Mobile, and that is a little bit of a slide coming through there as well from Stenshore. Just couldn't get quite right as they run up in towards turn 1 at Nicky Lauda curve. And we've got 2 laps remaining only. And now it's just about to see who can hold off first. But Martin Stenshore going to have to hold off Kamara because those tyres are dead.
Yep, Walton has critically got a 1 second gap, but the battle is for 3rd position, where Ugo Gachuku is defending at the moment, and he is going to try to defend cleanly as it's absolute chaos behind. Kamara trying to get past Stenshore. He's
gone off the circuit as well. Stenshore's going to have to give him room to come back on, and there Kamara as well going to pull to the outside. Mari Boya is now side by side with him, so Stenshore's going to lose out to that one as well. As now we see Solov trying to go around the outside. Vosin has passed as well. That's 3 into 1, does go 5 into 1. How about that? As they come through, and somehow Stenshore still holds that position. Boy is now side by side with Callum Vosin. Tramlin's coming through. Kamara's dropped about 3 places in this little mess that come through into Pirelli. Kamara's trying to go around the outside, not working out that time. Ugachu is still holding off Solov further ahead, but the battle, 6th down, is blowing up for the final points paying position, and it will be 1 lap to go in this melee. And Kamara's having to defend now as well on the inside line, and that's coming from TFR now.
Kamara lost like 4 places in 1 corner. That's absolutely ridiculous.
It's great stuff for Solov, though, in the championship, isn't it? Because more points are closing his way. In fact, Kamara's outside the points paying positions. 1 to 8 in the sprint, he's now 10th, so he's out of the points. So this is brilliant news for Solov, who starts on pole tomorrow. This is the last lap of the race, and this is going to be TFR now on the inside, gets ahead of Kamara into turn 1, goes a bit too wide, bounces over the curb, and Kamara's trying to switch back round the outside line, and now Noel Leon's coming through as well, and still Solov can't get through, and it's all chaos as we're 3 wide, 2 rows deep, coming into turn 3, as Callum Vosin goes a bit too deep on the brakes as well. Stenshore's going to have to side by side with Tim Tramnitz. Tramnitz has to back out before he gets on the grass. He pulls to the outside line, down to turn 4, he's on the grass again. He has to literally bully Solov out of the way, and Murray Boyer goes through on the inside. Fabulous couple of corners as Boyer with a damaged front wing moves up into 6th position, and it's all happening further behind as Kamara now gets through Nolion. He's back into 10th position. Voss is trying to get through on the inside line as well. Ostenshaw, that hasn't worked out the way you're thinking as they try and come through the Vods curve. But James Wharton is going to take victory here in the sprint race in Austria as he'll come out the last corner. Red Bull Mobile, the checkered flag is waiting from pole position. 2 safety cars. A brilliant race. James Wharton wins in Austria. Ugo Chu will hold on for 3rd position as well. That was an impressive run, and off the track, I think that is looking further. Well, who's lost place in the line? Roman Belinsky goes wide. Where did Kamara finish that? 10th. Stenshaw did hold off for the last point. What a cracking F3 sprint. That was brilliant, Omi. I'll hand to you.
I thought that Tim Tramadich was going to do his best Artem Markolo impression at turn number 3 by overtaking them all and being able to take the position, but that was extraordinary. And, well, Tom, somehow after all of that one, we end with James Wharton winning the race, defended where he needed to, and pulled the gap critically on the restart.
That was a super driving one, a very mature one as well by his standards. He'll be a very happy man, Team Radio. Although I think JB's gone away, so
yeah.
But I think we can envisage what he's going to say on the radio anyway. It'll be a very, very delighted man. A very good result for ART. I think that is the first win this season. I can't remember if 2 could happen as actually season.
Yeah, definitely.
That is ART's first win this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Chika Tappanen's got close, but it's not been as great as what we've seen today. Wharton finishes in 1st. Good 2nd place for GSD as well. He'll be disappointed to have not been able to take the lead, but he gave it some good attempts, and he did definitely try. Didn't have enough on the restart, but to be fair, he was separated only 3 tenths across the line, which showed how if there was one more lap, then Wharton could have been under major pressure. So GSD saved the tyres, and I think he can definitely take a positive from that. And we have to remember, Tom, if this was to happen in a feature race, then there's more laps coming into play, so this could help GSD tomorrow in terms of if he knows how he's able to manage the tyres while running at a decent pace.
Ugochukwu, another man who will be over the moon with this. I think he's gone into the paddock, hasn't he? Because he's into the support paddock. He's supposed to be coming down the pit straight like Gisty and Wharton. He's actually gone back into the support paddock as so yeah, he may need to do a little bit of a run over to Parfumé, will Ugo.
Yeah, might just need to, as he's not found his way to where the location that James Wharton is pushing his way through, along with GSD as well. Delighted moments for those two. GSD, the driver who finds himself 7th in the championship. You'll be quite happy with that one. James Wharton, I mean, this is only the 2nd time he's in the top 10. That's the type of season that James Wharton has had. He's found himself outside the top 20 on numerous occasions. But like we saw last time out with Ivan Dominguez, getting his opportunity, getting his chance to fight at the front and be able to take his first point podium and win, it's a big opportunity there for him today, James Wharton, to score quite a lot of points, and he's absolutely taken it as well. Also in Formula 2, which I hope you'll join us for later on, we're going to have the same opportunity for a Van Amersfoort driver like we saw in Formula 3 in Spain, for someone to do their first point, podium and win of the season. John Bennett, that's exactly what he'll be attempting from pole position later on, so we hope you join us for that. And we've also of course got Formula 1 in between that with FP3. MotoGP's on right now at the same time with its practice and qualifying session. The Porsche Super Cup you'll be able to find later on. So an action-packed day, I think is the best way to summarize that. Lots of things to watch and to keep on top of here in the world of motorsport. And Formula 3's feature race, main race, will be held tomorrow, and they will start where they qualified yesterday on that Friday, which has Nikola Solov starting on pole position. Another big opportunity for Solov to try and gain championship points over his rival. And I think if anyone was doubting what we were saying yesterday, I think it's fair to say championship is absolutely back on.
James Wharton, who only picked up 3 points coming into this race, is now on 13 in total after this one. A very, very good drive indeed for the man from Australia. And you see him take the checker flag in first place, his first win in the series. Sandro Giusti finishes in the points for the 9th consecutive race. He's had a really good season so far as the Williams Academy driver, proving he has the consistency to take the fight to the top guns in this championship so far this season. I mean, Kamara, who's only picked up what is his 7th point in a sprint race. So 120 of his 127 points have come from feature races, including the pole position points, which he's already achieved. But yeah, it is game on. Solov's 4th position has given him 7 championship points, which moves him to within what will be 17 points now, because he got the pole position points yesterday. So he is very much in the fight for this cycle.
Okay, let's head down to the world feed as we get ready for the podium ceremonies.
Would have expected to hit the ground running, but just for him and Prema hasn't quite happened.
No, exactly. I think it's it's whether it's the team struggling to get used to this car or Ugo as well, but certainly they just haven't been able to get anything going this year so far. But the Prema cars were 3rd and 4th for a lot of the time during that race, so certainly looking a lot more competitive this weekend from a team that we know can win championships.
Yeah, and Prema are currently sort of trying to figure out where he is, and so is Bruno Michel. And I think now the plan is trying to be put in place how we get him over here. So yeah, we will find a way.
I think someone wasn't listening to the driver's briefing notes about where to go for the podium.
Well, there we go. He'll make it there, and it will be worth it when he comes out. It's a great podium. It's a great circuit, this one, and let's see what they have to say in the cool down room. Hopefully, we'll see Ugo in there.
Yeah, like a little bit turn around. No, I didn't see. I just saw words.
In the real stuff here.
Yeah.
In the rest, it's so bad.
But my clutch got stuck in the laps trigger.
What?
My clutch was stuck, so I had no drive. Oh, yeah. I was so scared for the main start.
What?
limit.
Oh my god.
There was so much debris during the whole race.
And they never changed them.
Yeah.
Like, it was always the same.
Whoa.
We have new tire, man.
Old. Fresh. I did 3 lap on one.
You did out push as well. And put out one.
Out push.
Yeah, we need 2 full runs.
Yeah.
Why are you crashing?
What? Race nicht, oder? Genau. Du gap där 45.
So we always run to on this track.
We wait for you to go for.
But where is Hugo? Do you know? No idea.
I'm sure you went to the paddock.
Yeah.
The problem is that everyone will take it, so it's
Before we go. The first podium of the year and he's not even here.
Well, we didn't see Hugo there, but I hear the hunt for Hugo is on.
He's a tall lad. It won't be that hard to spot him.
That's 7 winners now this season, 18 podium finishes. Give you an idea how competitive it is this season. We had a record 21 podium finishes last year. It's super competitive. The phone calls are being made.
Yeah,
the hunt is on.
The search party is on, trying to find Hugo Kachiguru somewhere in the paddock A1 room.
So we will find him. But
a good race, really good race from him. You know, I think
so. Yeah.
He was under a lot of pressure from his teammate, but a lot of the times he had a look down the inside of turn 4, and Hugo just kind of stayed out of trouble. You know, just fended off that, didn't defend too hard, and then when he had to defend against Solov, did a really good job. So yeah, thoroughly deserves his 3rd place, his podium.
Absolutely, and he spun in qualifying yesterday on his last lap, so easy to affect his confidence. That.
Yeah, exactly. I think the spinning qualifying, he just in the compression at the last corner, the car touched the ground and he just lost the car. But it was a good lap. He was looking like he was going to be near the top of the timesheet. So he's looked, yeah, certainly from qualifying, competitive pace-wise around here.
Yeah, and managed to just get going straight away. The 2 drivers there, I think, key results for James Wharton, for Ugo Ichuku. Two drivers who knew each other really well, and for them this would be a very welcome result. Alessandro Giusti, though, I mean, he's just firing his way up the championship order. We saw live on screen how this is doing well for him, and Williams representatives down there, they're going to be super impressed with what they're seeing from him.
They are. He was pushing hard to win the race, but in the end,
here he is. Yeah, well done. In.
We have found him. He's here.
Have you ever been lost on your way to the podium, Gary?
No, I lost trying to get to the podium during races at some point, but I don't think I've ever done it. As a team manager, I've had to a lot of times trying to tell drivers where to go to get on the podium.
Right.
And, yeah, in the whole celebration of finishing in the top 3, they struggle to understand sometimes. So yeah, it's but he's here, and yeah, we're going to have the podium now.
We made it, and Ugo hopefully will just catch his breath back quickly and then we can go on with it. Lots to celebrate for him, though. A huge congratulations. Ugo Ichuku gets his first Formula 3 podium and the first for Prema Racing this season. Well done to him, and I'm sure that will give him the confidence to kick on this season. 9 points finishes in a row, back-to-back podium finishes for Alessandro Giusti, the Williams Academy driver. And a first win for James Wharton. Well done. It puts ART back on the top step for the first time since Hungary last year. And ART Grand Prix come out to celebrate.
a first win in FIA Formula 3 for James Wharton, and David Coulthard presents the trophy for the race winner. Coulthard won here in 2001 in an impressive race. I'm going to have to turn that down because I can hear Chris McCarthy still too loud, so the track noise not working. I hope it's fixed for Formula 2, otherwise it's one of those weekends again. I don't know why, their mics just sound mono. I'll tell you what, though, it'll be a cracking weekend all round so far for Formula 3, and the feature tomorrow is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, the feature is, of course, where the main points are handed out, where we're going to get more chaos and we're going to get more amazing racing.
It's champagne time! First time for James Wharton, Alessandro Gusti, and Ugo Ugachuru in the first race podium for him. Tom, final thoughts. What did you make of that one? Mike's on mute. Hello.
Sorry. No, it was a good race. Very happy for James Wharton to get his first win. A very talented man who has been waiting for this opportunity, and hopefully that kickstarts his season from here on in. And I'm happy for Ugachukwu to get his first podium as well in the series, but wasn't very happy with some of his driving standards, though, I will admit, but I think he'll sit down in the debrief afterwards with his crew at Prema and just warn them about his aggressive defending. But overall, a good race, and best of luck to the likes of Solov and Benavides tomorrow, who could well come away with the future race win.
Amy, what about you?
Extraordinary sprint race, and now all eyes go to feature tomorrow, so looking forward to that one.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for all the action from F3's feature. Coming up today, though, there's a lot more action. Next up, it's FP3 for Formula 1. Bye-bye.